Hello, governor. Guys, I just got done watching The Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 5. I'm like shaking. That's not me shaking, but I was shaking. It was insane. I'm gonna make my vlog tomorrow, but I just wanted to say this right now. Because this is my first reaction after it just happened, and it was insane. I had so much anxiety. Probably one of the most terrifying scenes that I've seen so far. Okay, bye. What's up, guys? It's Meg, and it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the best show on television, AMC's The Walking Dead. This show is about episode 5 of season 4, and what an intense, crazy episode, right? Last night when I was watching it, I literally had my hands on my head like this, like the whole time, freaking out. I had so much anxiety. I was on the edge of my seat going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm sure you guys were too, right? So much action. It was literally some of the most terrifying scenes I've ever seen in The Walking Dead. Now, The Walking Dead has scared me before, but the scenes last night where we see Hershel and Glenn nearly die, both of them, were really emotional for me. I was literally in tears when I thought Glenn was dying. And Hershel, I thought for sure that he was a goner. And thank God he wasn't, but wow. So let's get into it real quick. Rick comes back. He tells Maggie about Carol, and Maggie agrees with him. I was not expecting that at all. She said that she believes he did the right thing, that she doesn't know if she could have done it, but that she agrees with him. I really thought Maggie would be more upset than that. Carol has been around since the very beginning. I don't know why this doesn't seem to matter to them. Karen and David were around for maybe 6-7 months, and Carol's been around for the entire time since this whole thing started, and it's just okay that she's gone. So then he goes and he tells Hershel, and we don't get to see Hershel's reaction. That made me so angry because I really wanted to hear what he said to Rick, but because they don't show it, that leads me to believe that he essentially agreed with him. He was visibly sad afterwards when he was locking everybody in their cells. You could see that his pace was slowed, not just because of his leg, but he looked, visibly sad. And, he's locking everybody in, and then really chaos breaks loose. People start turning into walkers. He finds Sasha passed out, and, or was it Glenn passed out? Oh shoot, I can't remember now. But he finds one of them passed out and he's kneeling over them, and you see the other people start to wake up as walkers. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, he's not paying attention. He's staring at the person. Was it Sasha or Glenn? Oh my goodness, now I can't remember because they both passed out at one point. And you see the walkers get up, and it's very intense. And a lot of stuff happens. You guys saw it, so you know. But Glenn nearly dies, and Hershel has to fight off some walkers in order to get the breathing bag to get Glenn to breathe again. Maggie enters the cell, so now she's been exposed to the virus, so she could potentially get it. Lizzie, she led a walker away from Glenn, saved his life, essentially, because I don't believe that Glenn would have survived if Lizzie hadn't done that. The walker was right next to Glenn. It was the guy that he was helping before he passed out. And she saved him. She drew him away like, come on, you can do it, which really made me laugh. But it was good, and they survived. Our main character survived. It was super emotional. Like I said, I nearly cried with Glenn, and then I thought Sasha was dying too, and it was really scary. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, the fence comes down. Rick gets Carl, as Maggie has already run into the quarantine, or not the quarantine area, yes, the quarantine area, to help her father. So she's gone. Rick's at the fence by himself, and he runs to get Carl, and Carl comes out, and they're trying to put sticks up to prevent the fence from falling down, and the fence comes down anyways, and hordes of walkers come through, and I was scared out of my mind. This is the exact thing they have been trying to prevent this entire time that they've been there, and now the fence is down. And they go running, and I'm just thinking, how are they going to stop this? They're going to have to leave the prison right now. And then they pull out their guns and they shoot every single walker. There were tons of walkers. I don't have any idea how they managed to do that, but they did. Apparently, they are both very good shots because they got all of the walkers down. Then they went through and stabbed the rest of them that weren't all the way dead in the head, and they managed it. Now, they did there were so many gunshots. I'm sure that walkers from like miles away heard that and are going to be coming. So I'm curious to know how they're going to fix the fence that quickly, because the next morning after all of this has happened, Rick and Carl are just hanging out in the garden as if none of this happened. So I'm curious to know how they fixed the fence that quickly, or what they did to keep the walkers out the rest of the way. So I did want to point out real fast that there was a huge change in Herschel this episode. In the past couple seasons, we've seen him really remain strong in his faith in God, and he reads the Bible, and he's just always believed, like he said in this episode, that there was a purpose behind all of this, and even if we didn't understand it, there still is a purpose behind it, and we'll figure it out eventually. And in this episode, we really see a change in him. You know, he starts to waver a little bit in his faith. He is just around all of this death and dying of his friends and people he cares about. And he has to kill one of his friends that has turned into a walker by stabbing it in the head. And it seems to really affect him. He has to put a sheet over it before he does it. And I'm curious to know, you guys, has he ever killed a walker before? Now, I know it's different this time because these are people that he knew, but in the past seasons, have you ever seen him kill a walker? Is it just me? Because I cannot remember. Let me know in the comments below if you have, and when it was, and what episode if you can remember, but just tell me about it, because I can't for the life of me remember a time that he's ever killed one. So that could be another reason for this big change in him. By the end of the show, when he goes to rest in his room, he takes out his Bible as if, you know, he goes back to what he believes in, and then he shuts it right away. And he starts crying, and that's really one of the only times we've seen him break down crying. And for one, it was really upsetting for me, but it was also upsetting to know that he's wavering in his faith a little bit, which has been such a strong thing in his life up until this point. And then the very last thing we have to talk about is Daryl and Michonne and Tyrese and Bob come back. Just in time, right? No. So they come back, and they have the medicine. So they start giving the medicine to Glenn and Sasha and probably all the other people that we don't see. But that's amazing because now we know that Glenn's going to live. This isn't going to take him out. Sasha's going to live. Tyrese immediately goes to Sasha, and Daryl sees Herschel, and he asks where Carol is. For one, I don't think that was just writing, the writers putting that in there so that they have the opportunity to tell him that she's gone, but I think they're pointing out that he really cares about Carol, and Carol is the first person that he wants to see when he comes back from this run that they've been on. That says something to me. That says that he cares about her a lot. Herschel says she's fine, but he needs to go talk to Rick. And we don't, of course, get to see it because it's the end of the show and they cut it off and they've left it for next time. So unfortunately, that was a little bit upsetting that we have waited this entire week to see just that reaction. But they gotta do what they gotta do to keep us coming back for more, right? So next week, hopefully, we will find out what happens. I don't think Daryl's gonna take it lightly. And then the final scene, something we've been waiting for, is the governor returns. He's outside of the gates, kind of off to the side in the bushes, watching. And we don't know how long he's been there watching, but he is watching them. And so now we know that he's back, and we don't know when he's going to attack or what his plan is, but he's sitting there waiting. So
So I'm really excited to see what the next episode holds. I would love to talk to you guys more about this. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up because that makes me super duper happy. And leave me comments about anything that happened in this scene, or in this episode. This insane, crazy, terrifying episode. Please, I would love to talk to you guys more about it. Subscribe if you like this video because it would make me extremely happy, and I do these every single week. I'm also thinking of adding more things to this channel that are Walking Dead related. Do you guys have any ideas? Let me know if you do, because I think that would be really awesome. And then you can find me on Twitter at Meg_Stansfield. Add me there because pretty much all we do is talk about The Walking Dead all the time. I don't even really talk about anything else. So if you like The Walking Dead, find me on Twitter. That's it for this week, guys. I will see you next Monday. Hope you have a wonderful week. Bye!